Hey, it's Nick Fundytus here with my Nick Answers Reddit segment this week. And the question this week is it customary in Canada for prospective house buyers to have free and non-supervised run of the premises? So this is from someone, I'm guessing in the States here, who is about to put their house on the market. They're looking for some advice. What's customary, or who was in the States before, what's customary when putting their house on the market and how buyers view it. So their real estate agent made it clear that prospective buyers expect them, the sellers, not to be present during viewings, and that we should expect that they might open drawers, cabinets, and closets as they wish, also in their bedroom. So they don't plan on doing open houses, but the real estate agent informed us that we should be okay with prospective buyers exploring our house without being supervised by the real estate agent. So, what are our insights on this? So, in short, it is not customary for the house buyers to have totally free and unsupervised run of the house, although it may feel like that. Generally speaking, a good real estate agent is going to walk with their buyers through the house, pointing out things that are either above average and are selling points of the home, or things that are concerns for that particular buyer. So, in short, that means that 99.9% of the time, the buyers can be trusted, as any adult in your home should be, to treat it with respect and not to damage anything or get into areas that should be private and unrelated to the sale, such as for a drawer in your bedroom or in your medicine cabinet, sensitive places like that. Unfortunately, that small percentage of bad actors means that you should take sensible precautions. So some of the potential risks that you can run into, for example, are theft. That's a big one, either by the buyers, because if they're in there stealing stuff in your house, they were probably never a legitimate buyer, or much less likely they're a realtor. I don't know any realtor that's going to risk their job over stealing something in your house, but there are people who would do that. Damage to the property, either intentionally or unintentionally. This can be stupid things like somebody trying to reef open a door and not looking at the instructions on how to do it, like pulling open a patio door that has a physical lock on it and damaging the lock. We've seen stuff like that. Most of it's unintentional, or you could have intentional damage as well. Injury to a buyer, because they ran on the pool deck, for example, and they slipped. It was a little wet and hurt themselves. That's going to be an insurance problem, potentially a legal liability problem. Embarrassment from invasion of your personal areas. So, if you've got toys in your drawer in your bedroom and somebody opens that, it's going to feel a little weird for everybody. Or letting the cat out, or family pet out of the house, or even in some circumstances that I've heard, letting a pet or an animal in. I have seen a colleague had a squirrel run into their open house and immediately got into the couch. And this was 5 minutes before the open house was set to be opened by, to have guests coming in. So it was actually a guest that helped him chase the squirrel out of the house. So unfortunately, with no damage. Some of the ways that what you can do to lessen these risks, and sorry if you see my eyes flicking back and forth because I wrote everything first before I recorded here, is if there's no-go areas in your home. So if you have a sensitive job, for example, you've got your computer and server in there, take a picture of the room or have your real estate agent take a picture, close the door, lock it, or get a lock for it, and just say, with a polite sign, say, here's a picture of the room. This is a no-go area. If you book a second showing, so if you really end up serious about the home and you come back for, say, an inspection or something, we can get you in, but not on first showings. I think that's really sensible. It's really polite. It sets expectations of how the buyer should be treating your home. They shouldn't expect that they should be able to touch everything. And to that end as well, just give instructions about what people are and are not allowed to touch, and pretend they're 5 years old. So really make it clear. Crate pets if possible during a showing. So if you're leaving just before and coming back just after, that's a reasonable time for a pet to be in a crate. If not, and it's a cat, for example, or a dog who needs run of the house, make sure there are instructions, make sure buyers know and their agents know that a pet is going to be home and what actions need to be taken so that the pet doesn't get loose, for example. Be a little paranoid about your portable valuables. So nobody's going to walk off with your desktop computer, but a laptop fits in a laptop or an iPad fits in a purse. Jewelry is easily pocketed, and you don't want any of that stuff to go, especially, sentimental value or monetary value. Put it in a safe, put it in a no-go area of your house that's lockable, or a small safe like you'd find in a hotel. You can buy those pretty cheaply. Keep a list of valuables and their serial numbers and photos. So if you have to make an insurance claim or a police report, you've got that stuff ready. It's even in the more likely scenario that nothing happens, it's at least going to let you sleep better at night knowing you took that precaution. Consider cameras in sensitive areas. I see this more and more. In fact, I always tell my buyers to just assume you're being recorded when you're in a house and conduct yourselves accordingly. You know, I don't really like them. I think they're nosy. I think this, you know, I think it has kind of a similar effect to actually sitting there watching your client, maybe even worse because it's kind of creepy. But you've got to balance that out with the real risks of having a stranger through your home. Limit the number of guests at one time during an open house. So it's tougher to supervise during an open house. It's usually your realtor hosting the open house. And if there's 20 people through, there's no way I can look after 20 people in a house. So what we do with our team is if we know we're going to have more than a couple groups of people, we kind of lock it. We lock the door and we put a sign out saying, hey, as soon as these guests go, we will sign you in. We also require that everybody signs in. If we ask them for ID, they are required to provide it. And we kind of know who we should be asking for ID and who not. You know, people that are not there for any sort of good reason are going to try and avoid communicating with the realtor a little bit, and those are exactly the people that we want to go up and make sure we're getting their ID from. Ask your own agent or one from their team to be present during showings. It's a little less efficient scheduling wise, and the buyers can feel kind of supervised, but I mean, it's a security thing as well. We often see this on high value houses as well. You can be present for showings. I mean, legally you're allowed to be there. It's not good from a sales point of view. It turns off the buyer, frankly, but I mean, again, balance out your sort of your risk tolerance there. And I mean, there's always going to be one commenter who said, yeah, I was there for every showing and it was just the best idea because I could sell my house. No, it didn't. All the buyers who thought they were really talking up their house were just pissing off the buyer. I mean, and that's just the fact of the matter. No buyer wants the seller to be there and present. It is very, very rare. And then last of all, make sure that your home insurance and that your buyer's or your agent's insurance covers potential problems. So just have a look at that policy, ask your buyer about the things you're concerned about, and if they have any suggestions as well. Other than that, you know, if you take sensible precautions, it's very unlikely that anything's going to happen to you. But yes, I agree that it is kind of weird, and it would seem very weird from outside if you were coming to Canada and you got told that buyers should just have the run of your house to go look around and poke around. So the source for why I know this is I'm a realtor here in Ottawa, Ontario, in Canada, and my team uses a lot of these tactics. It's something that our clients, you know, obviously are concerned about, and your concerns are valid concerns. And as buyers, agents, we tend to follow around our clients pretty closely unless we know them quite well. That's all. Good luck on the sale of your home.